See how quickly you forget how to do things. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming back to the show. I am back after a long, hot, exhausting summertime. I hope you guys had a wonderful summertime. We are now in early October, and for the foreseeable future, I think we're going to be back to these silly little shows. I hope you are doing well. I hope you had a good summer. I hope you had a good sales summer, early fall. Hi, Susan. How you doing? Welcome back. Yes. Hi, Karen. Yeah, well, welcome and thanks. Great to see you guys too. Yeah, just I did a post a couple of months ago now, kind of alluding to the fact that I pretty much just decided to stay away from this for a little bit while my concert schedule was really busy. Instead of like hoping to do a show and that not being able to come through and all that nonsense, I'm like, let me just put it on the back burner for a little bit. And that's what I did. I had a great summer time with the shows and all that stuff. So I am back. I'm really excited to be back. I hope you guys are too. We're going to do a little bit of listing tonight. That goes without saying. I just want to kind of catch up, see how everybody's doing, what you've been up to. Hey, CJ, how you doing? Welcome, man. Thank you for coming in. Hi, Lise. Welcome. San Antonio. There you go. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Pennsylvania, where we have to get the weather forecast in, right? We had a couple of quasi-cool days that actually felt fallish, but now we're hearing tale of the next few days supposed to be near 80 again, so some are reluctant to let go its grip, but definitely it's nice. Got a sweatshirt on today. It was in the upper 40s this morning, which actually felt kind of cool. I'm ready for it. A lot of the shows that we do are outdoors in the summertime, on beaches, on grandstands, things like the bandstands, excuse me, on a beach, big open fields, amphitheaters, things like that. And man, oh man, does it get hot, especially when you have outfits on and wigs on and makeup on and all that stuff. So enough about me, enough whining. But I am glad, I am glad to hopefully see the weather change. And as we get into early fall here, I'm definitely in the mood for it. Sales, sales, sales. We are in Q4 now, so it's kind of now or never, right? Everybody works towards this, or a lot of people that do reselling work towards this and gear up for this exact time of year, these last 3 months of the year, the surge that typically, means more sales, more people home, more people available to purchase. So the hope is that during those lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer, we had opportunity somewhere in there to get some listings up, to bulk up the stores, if you will, if sales weren't, as good as you hoped, or things weren't moving as quickly as you'd like. The silver lining here is that hopefully now that we're in this Q4 environment, those things will start moving. And if you have a nice quantity up there ready for people to pick up, you should be in good shape. So let me just say hi again, Lisa. I said hi. Hi, Ernie. How you doing? Thanks. Welcome to the show. I appreciate it. Queen Victoria, thank you very much. Great to be back, and wonderful to see you. Yeah, warm weekend ahead, Karen. Weather's, nothing wrong with a warm weekend. It's just I want, as you kind of say the next, bring on the fall time. So I want to get kind of in the mood, you know what I mean? We got some decorations up and all that stuff. Sweatshirts on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's cool off a little bit. I look forward to it. It's a fun time of year. It's probably my favorite season, honestly, weather-wise. It's just a nice time of year. And again, there's usually this correlation with sales picking up and all that. So I'm greatly looking forward to that. Excuse me. Let me mute my phone so you don't have to hear the dings. Mrs. Flippett is in transit as we speak. She is going over to Long Island, excuse me, via train, which is like a 4-hour journey. She has like 5 different trains she has to take. She's staying at a girlfriend of hers for the weekend. They have 2 little kids, and she goes like once every month and a half, every 2 months, just to kind of make an appearance, say hi to the kids. And I stay home with my dad. I used to go with her, but now it's down to I stay home with Dad, and she goes out there for a weekend. So this is the weekend. She is en route, so I just have to kind of keep an eye on her progress and make sure she gets there safely. Yes. Hey, Enzo, what's going on, man? How you doing? There he is. I just watched, it's so funny, I just watched an interview with Henry Winkler. Man, he's a riot. He tells some great stories. But welcome to the show, Enzo. Thanks for coming in. Thanks to all of you for your patience. I'm sure you had many other things to do, but it really is appreciated. Anybody that shows up tonight, I greatly appreciate it. But things should be, hopefully, normal now. So we might be back to our weekly show. I'll try to get some more material out there, like, regular videos out there, sales stuff, ideas, thoughts, all that kind of stuff. Enzo says, you could tell it's fall here in Florida by different color license plates. Yeah, exactly. It's that time of year. We, Mrs. Flippin and I, escaped down to the Sunshine State 2 weeks ago. It's hard to believe already, but 2 weeks ago. and we came back last Wednesday, so a little over a week ago. We spent a week down there. It was scorching hot. Another reason I'm dying for some fall temperatures here, because it was just brutal. It was really, really hot, sunny. Mrs. Flipper got a pretty bad sunburn on her neck. I fared a little bit better as far as sunburn, thank goodness. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I think a lot of us are, especially if you live in more temperate environments than Florida, where it's kind of the same weather most of the year anyway. At least that's the legend. It's really not true for those of us who live there or have lived there. But I digress. So hopefully you guys are doing well. Let me know how was your summer? How'd you do? How were sales? Any changes? Any approaches changing? Any different tactics being employed? Really, as far as eBay goes, it's kind of status quo. I haven't seen any seismic changes to the platform, or some huge changes to policy or anything like that. There's always going to be little things. USPS prices are always going to go up. These are givens, especially with fourth quarter now that we're in it. But I can't think of, if you guys have any anything you want to bring up, please do. As far as eBay is concerned, as far as anything pros, cons, the good, the bad. Like I said, me personally, I have 3 stores now, but 2 of which one of which is the one we talk about all the time, the paper store. I have another store that's only clothing. That's been doing consistently well, which I'm very grateful for. And then I have a quasi-news store that kind of does mostly, not exclusively, but mostly like media stuff, records and things like that. I still have a handful of records and CDs and some VCR tapes, I think, on my paper store, but I'm in the process of moving them to the media only store. But that's kind of a new one, just to segregate things. It's really, that's you could have a multitude of items in your store. I like this idea of having devoted stores for certain categories, especially like the clothing one, because I know clothing's, I would argue, is probably the most popular type of store out there on eBay, the most popularly sold items. There's just such an abundance of used clothing in our fine country. I know a lot of people make really good money doing that, so I started that probably a little over a year ago now. It's definitely over a year. It was like a year ago last spring, so like a year and a half ago. And I revived a store that I had for about 10 plus years that I just kind of let die when I started the paper store in 2017. This other store was like 2012 or 2013, so I just revived that. Started doing some listings, and away we go. So I'm grateful for that. I like doing the clothing. I used to have this hatred of clothing. I no longer have that. I really appreciate the fact that the stuff moves very quickly. There's so much of it out there. They just recently opened a Goodwill about 2 miles from my house, and that was a real game changer for me, because sourcing for clothing, although you could find it everywhere, it was a pain in the neck. There were no Goodwills within like an hour of my house, and I used to drive like an hour and a half a couple times a week to try to source clothing there. But anyway, that's clothing. We won't have to talk about clothing, but I'm just saying I have the 3 different stores, and this paper store, which is the one that we talk about the most, the Jiminy Flip It stuff that we do shows on, it's been kind of neglected to an extent. I haven't really listed with the passion that I used to list on it, and my personal main reason for that is because I have the 2 other stores going, and especially that clothing store. I wanted to get that ramped up. Now that that's done, I can kind of go back into this paper store now, the Jiminy Flip It store, and start treating it with the respect it deserves, because I enjoy the stuff immensely. I enjoy the stuff that's within it. I'm just kind of let down by the incredible slow turnaround on items. Like we've discussed this a billion times, it's no secret. Postcards, print ads, a lot of the paper stuff, it just has, the sell-through is anemic compared with other products. But I've also done videos to this effect. Yeah, the sell-through is anemic, but the return on investment for this stuff, for most of us anyway, is seismic. It's incredible how much money you can make for how much you've put into it. So it's one of those yin-yang things, and I'm fine with that. I'm resolved to the fact that the stuff isn't going to fly off the shelf in the store. I just genuinely love the paper products, so I'm going to keep doing that. And I have 9,000 items listed, so I'm not going to give it up, that's for sure. But I've just devoted a lot more time now to the clothing, again, because of the ability to, first of all, make money on it, like good money, and just turn around items so much quickly with a fraction of the inventory that I have in the paper world. So that's my story. Oh my goodness, I see some more comments. Basic subscription. Yeah, just basic subscription stores, Karen. The media one is less than, what is it? I opened that like in this last spring, so maybe about 6 months ago. It's doing okay. I've used a product I talk about all the time that I used to use exclusively for postcards. I found it's been wonderful for me as a backup database is 6-bit. And there is a link below if you're not familiar with 6-bit. Check it out. Even if you don't use it to list, it's an amazing product that backs up all your listings. The only thing, the limitation is, if you will, it's only for one store. So if you have multiple stores, you kind of have to decide which one you want to back up. In the case of 6-bit, I back up my paper store for sure, because I have the 8,500, 8,400, whatever listings I have up currently live, as compared with like 300 in the clothing store. But the good news is with the 300, it's the complete opposite of my whole philosophy with the paper stuff, right? It's 300 in, 300 out pretty much. Like if I list 10, I want to sell 10 that day. That's the goal, to get that, like, basically the same amount that you put in, you get back out. Whereas paper, as we all kind of know, I could list 100 a day. I'm lucky if I sell 2. That would be 2%. That's probably lofty, a lofty goal for paper. But anyway, 6-bit is an outstanding tool for that kind of stuff. Even if you just want to have a good backup, it saves all your photos. It's essential now for me, because if anything goes kapooey with eBay on those 8,300, 8,400, whatever the number, I know I keep changing it, the 8,000 plus items I have listed on that store, I'd be devastated, to lose all that. It's just the work and the, my God, the man hours that went into listing all those things. I would be devastated. So it's a great, great source. And what I did is a long way around what I was talking about, sorry, but Karen had asked about the different types of stores. So what I did is I migrated some of the stuff that I had in the Jiminy Flip It over to the media store, music store, which was really seamless, easy to do, import, export to a new store. Great product. Definitely get to use that if you can. Hey, Keith, what's going on, man? Been neglecting the eBay store too. Really, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's not a intentional negligence, actually, for me. In my case, it was just I put a lot more into the clothing store, primarily because it's newer, even though it's 12 years old, 11 years old. But as far as me actively using it, it's a little over a year, and I was starting from scratch. So I wanted to get, first of all, I want to get a knowledge base up on the clothing, the type of, decide what I want to sell in the clothing arena. I've kind of focused on a bit of a niche within clothing, which I'm happy with. I've learned a lot. There's still tons more to learn. There's a lot of competition, that's for sure, which doesn't exist as much in our paper world. Clothing is, everybody and their mother sells clothing, so it's a matter of getting good clothing that people actually want to buy. So there's your tip, right? Hey, what's up, Mark? How you doing? Yeah, I know. Who's this guy live? Hope you're doing well, man. Long time no hear. Hope things are going well. I am, and so are you, I dare to say. Aren't we all? We're all 3 months older than last time we chatted, but great to see you, man. Queen Victoria says you had to slow down with your store because you had to take care of your mom. Oh, dementia. I understand completely, and I'm sorry. It's been very difficult. Looks like in lose your top rated. I'm sorry to hear that. So you've let some stuff slip, like things sell and you didn't get them out in time and all that. See, I've maintained that. I'm very sorry about your mom. I'm going through that with my dad and Parkinson's and stuff, so I definitely understand. And he lives with us 24 hours a day. But, it's easy to, priorities obviously are with your mom, and your family always comes first. But I definitely understand that, completely understand that, and I'm sorry to hear. But the good news is you can quickly get it back if you if you have the opportunity to. If you have the opportunity to put the work in necessary, and you can stick to a schedule without too many distractions with mom. I know that always, again, comes first. You might have to take her out to a doctor visit, whatnot. She might have a bad day, and it kind of steals your time away. I get that. But, yeah, with a little elbow grease and getting back into it, get some sales, get some good items listed, sell them, and ship them on time. You can always tweak your settings, Victoria, if you need to. It might put you down slightly in search, but if you put like a 3 or 4 day handling time on your sales, that might give you that wiggle room necessary in case any of those, life circumstances get in the way. And if you're able to sell it, if you're able to ship it in day one, hey, you've exceeded expectations. So that's something easy to kind of give yourself some grace and some time. And this way the eBay gods don't bite you. Is it very difficult to get back? So we were just talking about the top rated. Yeah, no, I don't think it's very difficult. It's a matter of how far you've fallen, but it's easy to get back up. You just have to continuously list good things, sell them, and, go there and adjust those settings if you need to. If you need help with that, I'm sure most of us know how to do that, but you could go into account settings. I have a video actually about that, business policies and whatnot. You can easily tweak your listings. You could do it based on categories. You could do your whole store, just kind of a bulk edit and just say, I need 4 days handling on everything. And so be it, and then the buyer can't ding you or get upset. Where's my item? You've stated that you have a 4-day. I've purchased many things, especially overseas. I buy a lot of records and stuff from Germany and from England, and with all the nonsense going on with the shipping laws and all that, it's created some havoc. And I kind of expect, I'm no longer that thing. Hey, it's been a week. Where the heck's my item? I know it's going to take a while, but hopefully that helps you, Victoria. Maybe you could just do something like that. Give yourself some extra time to get things in order. Make sure you ship on time and all that good stuff. How you doing? Hindasound? Welcome. You're returning into eBay sales after 25 years. Well, welcome back. I'm sure a few things have changed in that time. It's amazing how fast it goes. But eBay has really exploded in this century, I guess you could say, right? Since 2000. What do you like to sell? What type of stuff do you sell? And welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in. Mark has hardly listed anything the last 3-4 months and still selling basically the same as. Well, that's fantastic. Your reputation precedes you then, Mark. No, it's possible. If you have a sizable store, like I'm sure you do, and your reputation's out there and you have repeat buyers, it makes it a lot easier. See, that's a huge component. If you have repeat buyers, I think that's the lifeblood of any business, right? Repeat business. It's certainly true in my music business and word of mouth, repeat buyers, stuff like that. Same thing holds true. So Mark can go ahead and not list for months and months, but he might have a list of 100 people who consistently go to SM Postcards to buy their postcards. And Mark has a 50,000 item store. I don't know what his store is, but a large store where there's plenty of items. So maybe he doesn't need necessarily quotes to list every day, although everybody tells you eBay likes activity. Sales are activity, though. So if you're still selling, I think they like that. But I think it's a testament to you, Mark, and your business that you've built over time, and people go back to you. Drone business. Drone business. They're the ones that are delivering like hamburgers through the sky and stuff like that. I saw videos about that. Does it really help? Okay, cool, Victoria. Yeah, good luck to you. Keep me posted. I should be back every week, shooting for Fridays most likely Fridays. But I'll always try to post well in advance. Like if you guys noticed this one, I posted like a couple of weeks ago. I just wanted everybody, hey, I'm alive, and remind people instead of posting at the last minute. But yeah, I should be sticking to the Friday schedule. So keep everybody posted, Victoria, and good luck to you. I think you'll be able to get right back into it. Remind me what you sell. Do you have like a niche that you sell in? Or are you kind of all over the place? An everything seller, as they call it, right? Hindasound, you plan to sell junk journals as a side hustle for fun and extra money just to get back into the swing. Very cool. Junk journals, I hear, are very popular things. I think they do really well on Etsy, from what I hear. But good luck to you. That's awesome. Wow, yeah, 57. So I guessed 50. I wasn't far off. Yeah, see, when you have that many listings, Mark, I know you know this, but for the edification of those watching who might not know this, Mark has a huge store like this. He's been doing it for a long time. Again, I'm sure he has built-in, clientele, if you will, people that go back to his store over and over and over. So it kind of doesn't matter as much for a Mark as it might for somebody that's, like Hindasound, who's just getting back into the game after a while. And, she's kind of has to build a reputation, if you will. When you have a reputation, that's a good one. Those sales can continue to come in despite the fact that you haven't really done much as far as putting new items into the store. But when you have 57,000, that's a good amount of choice for people. Hinda rhymes with Linda. Okay, very good. Hinda. There are 13 million postcards on eBay and tons of sales. Yeah, that's for sure. Look for how many items of clothing are on eBay and how many people sell them. I bet you it's more. A lot more competition. But yeah, I know postcard is not a secret anymore. That's for sure, right? Postcards are not a secret. Still a great thing to sell, though. Mostly as an ephemera and vintage and antique item. It's very cool. What's up, Postcard Guy? How you doing? Speaking of Florida and staying warm, hope you're doing well. Check out Postcard Guy. He puts out some really cool videos. I watch him all the time on YouTube. He does like travel videos, which I'm big on. I saw him down in the House of Mouse, and does great postcard kind of what sold videos, does postcard find videos, all that good stuff. So if you're into postcards, you got to check out the Postcard Guy. Old news, 200 plus positives and 100%. Very good, very good. You know what stinks? Hinda, is your store from 2000-ish or so? Do you still have the same store and you're reviving it like I did with my, what is now my clothing store? Or did you just kind of start brand new with a brand new store? Because it's a shame they won't, like I had, I don't know, it wasn't a big number, but it was like 150 feedback or something like that in the old store before the clothing store populated it again. And I remember thinking, you know, I called them actually and I said, can I just kind of revive this store, use this, and not have to go through that process of being brand new where they hold your funds for a period of days and all that stuff. And they said, unfortunately, after, I forgot what the threshold was, but after X amount of years or whatever, it doesn't matter how old your account is. It's basically like starting over. So that was a little frustrating, but it went fast. Recurring steady income. Yes. Sell a product you can find consistently and then start experimenting. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Yeah. Oh, is Kevin here? Kevin's a good guy, man. Kevin's a good guy. You do. Cool. Uh-oh, speaking of postcards, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. What is going on, Popeye? Hope you're doing. I saw Popeye's back. I see Popeye videos popping up all of a sudden. I think it's in the air. We're all coming back. You can't get away from it. Hope you're doing well, man. Popeye, obviously the authority, along with Mark, on postcards, and Kevin. We got 3 ringers in the chat, so if anybody has any postcard-related questions, comments, concerns, we got the best in the business in attendance tonight. Great to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. The family's well. Same store, yeah, but did they tell you that you're kind of starting from scratch again? It looks good. Like, you know, if you hit, it's not about, what does it say? Like, when you go to the storefront, maybe it does say about. You can kind of read about the person and stuff, and it'll usually give you a date when they opened up their eBay account, which is something I peruse once in a while when people are sending me offers. I'll take a look to see if they're newbies or if they've been doing this a while. So in the case of Hinda, you know, her store would say 99 or 2000. John's, what was your account, John? 98, I think you said? John's been doing this a long time, too. I had an account in like 98 or so, but at that time, you know, for those of you who remember, I'm sure most of us do, I don't know, eBay was almost like a gimmick. It was kind of a fun thing. It was the Wild West, as people have said. You know, you had to literally mail checks to people in the mail, and it was kind of a trust system, if you will. So I remember, like, I had an eBay account, and I used to love searching for stuff. I don't remember if I sold anything then. I was working in Manhattan. I was in my early 30s, and it was kind of a novelty. The whole internet thing was kind of just this fun thing. Who could have ever dreamed it would become what it's become, you know? But, yeah. Is that CK Postcards? Connie, how you doing? So now we got the 4 best postcard people in the house all at once. Welcome. What a pleasure to have everybody. Hey, Marty, 10 months gone and you didn't miss it. Doing well here. Hope you and yours. Thank you very much, John. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Things continue with my dad and all that stuff, but he's doing well. Wife is doing well. Hope you and your wife are doing well, and your daughter. Yeah, I saw you got back into it. It's been a few months for me too, and I honestly, I did miss it. I like doing these shows and just chatting with people and having a good time and talking shop. You know, I really do enjoy it, so I'm glad to be back. I was very busy, but I'm glad to be back. January 98, yeah. When did it start? Like 95, 96, I think was the first time I saw the web page. Something like that. Somebody could tell me. There you go. Kevin started in 96, yeah. But like you guys remember, right? Well, for me, did you guys start selling? I think Popeye did. You were selling Postcard Guy in 96? I didn't even know you could sell things. I know it sounds silly now, but I remember I used to look at it. When we got internet at work, which was a big deal, it was a lot easier. You could get on basically any site you wanted. Not that there were that many sites yet, but I remember finding eBay or hearing about eBay, and I forgot what I used to look for, but I remember it seemed like a really cool thing that you could buy stuff online. You know, you got to realize that was a novelty unto itself. Just the fact that you could buy something on a computer seemed Jetsons-like and very futuristic. You know, who could have? I guess that was pre-Amazon, right? So yeah, I just thought it was a fun site, eBay. Henderson, you only bought stuff the last 25 years, no sales posts yet. Oh, okay. Oh, so you've been using the store then, just for purchases. I gotcha. Mark says, years ago we interviewed a person for a manager's job. On his resume, his experience was an eBay power seller. Oh, yeah, the power seller. That's right, power seller. I missed that. What's up, Kelly? Yeah, no, long time, man. I was up in your neck of the woods like 3 or 4 times over the summer. We were up in Maine. We were in New Hampshire just a couple of weeks ago. Went to New Hampshire like 3 or 4 times. We played a Mohegan Sun. I know it's not near you, but if you know where Mohegan Sun is in Connecticut, what a show that was. My God, that was like playing Giant Stadium. Like that was like a huge thousands and thousands of people, and the stage itself was literally like you were playing in a stadium. It was incredible, huge, great sound system. What a wonderful place to play, Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. Awesome. Popeye started selling in the spring of '98. By that fall, you were all postcards. So that's awesome. You've been in the game a lot. What was that, 27 years? 26, 27 years. It's incredible, right? Good for you, man. And it shows. And there's another example of somebody. I know Popeye used to do videos about this. Like, he would purposely, not purposely, but he wouldn't list for periods of time, but he would still have sales coming in. Maybe not the sales that he would get if he listed every day. You know, you list, you sell is what he says. There's a lot of truth to that. But somebody like Popeye, somebody like Mark, I don't know about Kevin's volume in his store, but when you have a huge amount of volume and you have a reputation and you have kind of a built-in audience of people that buy from you consistently over decades, you know, in those guys' cases anyway. Mark, when did you open your store, man? How long have you been doing it? I'm sure you've been doing it a while. I don't know if it's as long as Popeye, but I'm just curious. I never really asked Mark how long he's been doing the postcard thing, but I know in both of those guys' cases, it's kind of almost a way to supplement retirement income and stuff, which is great. But it can also, you know, it depends on what you sell, obviously. But for many people that are retirees, close to it like me, or I mean, I guess I'm technically retired from work, thank God, working for other people. But I still do, you know, I have the business. I have like a IT thing that I do on the side. I have this, and I have the band, which is huge bit of income for me. But you know, it's a great way to supplement income, and in many cases, for people that are successful, it's not just a supplement. It can easily become your full-time income. Whoever said that earlier, it's so true. I think Mark said it. You know, you find products that you can find for a good price that people want and sell them consistently. You won. You know, that's eBay in a nutshell. Good customer service, basic common sense stuff for the most part, right? Treat people, and there's a lot of idiots out there, let's be honest, in life in general, and especially on eBay. You see it. It's a microcosm of the planet we live on. People are idiots, a lot of them. And they come right through your screen sometimes with the lowball offers, with the wise-ass comments, all that stuff. But if you just kind of let it, you know, roll off your back, don't take things personally, who cares? You're never going to see this person as long as you live. Take their money. Take their money, stupid piece of paper that you paid, you know, $1 or less for, and you're selling for $50 or $10 or $100. You know, you laugh all the way to the bank. That's what I've learned. I've gotten much tougher skin. I've always had tough skin, but when it comes to eBay, specifically, I don't let people and stupid comments and all that nonsense get me down at all. I kind of just laugh at them. And when in doubt, you block them. That's all. CJ is still a power seller, and you don't know what that means. Yeah, I know. Did they? Yeah, but they don't give you the little. We used to get the gold badge. I used to like to see that. Well, that was just top rated, I guess, not power seller, right? Power seller had like the streak of, almost like the Wonder Woman thing, like the 3 multicolored stripes or something, right? Kelly says everybody's talking about the fall. You're getting out of here before it settles in. Moving in 2 weeks to a desert. Are you serious or joking around? What desert would you be moving to, Kelly? I had a nice time in Maine, though. It's a beautiful state. Blue Feather, what's going on? Just able now to join the stream. You missed you this summer. I hope it's been a good one. Yeah, you too, man. I missed you too. I see you pumping out videos though left and right and doing really well. I love another must-see channel, Blue Feather Ephemera on YouTube. Does kind of the same stuff as me, print ads, does really interesting analysis, a la Mark with postcards almost. He's kind of the Mark of the ephemera paper world with print ads. He does like analysis of like, you know, looking for trends in selling and stuff and how long things have been up. I think it's a really good channel. So check out Blue Feather Ephemera if you have not done so already. Yeah, see, Popeye became an absolute ringer and continues to be on Whatnot, which kind of, I remember, yeah, he's saying that you basically didn't have to do anything. And you had that big airplane store, which you've since merged, John, is that true? Didn't you say you merged it with your regular store? I know you had like a separate store when you did that gigantic 1,000,000 card pickup. But yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you have such a huge inventory that seems to keep growing, and again, a great reputation, a store that's been around for eons, you're still going to get those sales. I know you would probably get more sales if you listed more consistently, but somebody like John has supplemented his eBay business with this Whatnot, which, you know, look at the numbers don't lie. And John's one to kind of proudly, you know, announce his numbers. 2015 for postcards. Oh, cool. Yeah, so even that's 10 years now, so it's not like you're new. That's fantastic, man. 57,000 postcards. Tell about the band. Yeah, it's Beatlemania. If you watch some old videos, I probably talked about this way too much, but I play in Beatlemania. We tour all over the country. It's my passion in life since since birth actually, but playing professionally since like mid '90s and playing unprofessionally since mid '80s in bands and stuff like that. So thank you very much. But yeah, we play Beatlemania stuff. And Mark's been retired for 6 years. Congrats, man. That's awesome. Arizona, really? That's fantastic, man. Congratulations to you. Maine is too expensive and housing situation changed. Moments knowledge you don't have a choice. Well, I'm sorry if you're kind of being forced, but hopefully it winds up being a good thing for you. Arizona, that's quite a change. You can't get much more dramatic than Maine to Arizona. You know, that's quite a trek. What's up, Swamp Picker? How you doing? Welcome to see you. Welcome to you. Great to see you. See, you forget how to talk when you don't do these shows for a few months. Great to see you, man. Glenn. You would like to have just half a box of the postcards, Kevin. So I'll tell you, Kevin has really developed a keen eye, a discerning eye. He sells. What's your average sale price, if you don't mind telling everybody, Kevin? It's no mystery for a lot of us that watch his stuff, but he kind of exclusively pretty much sells real photo postcards, which is ask John, ask Mark, ask Connie, ask Kelly. You know, those are the ones you want to get, if at all possible. Not in every instance, but typically they're pretty cool. They're usually one-offs by virtue of it's a real photo. And but I'll tell you, his sales prices when he does those what's sold, he makes a good buck selling those postcards. But he's come. I think Connie does the same thing, right? Where she only looks for those kind of cards because they just, whereas us schmucks are selling, the $7, $6 postcards of some nondescript high school in Massachusetts. Those guys are really scouring for these primo photo postcards, and they get really, really good money for them. John has one store now. A few others waiting in the wings. Ah, very cool. Still postcards, though, right? Or you're thinking of doing other things. Mark sold off your back stock of every card gone from backstop. Will be loaning back in the winter, probably. Okay. And I know you had, what was it, about like a year or two ago, you used to do toys or something, right? You had other things. I remember you were getting rid of all that. You were weaning off of all that stuff, so you were left with just postcards. How you doing, William? You caught a live stream. Yes, you did. Great to have you. It's been a long time since I've had a live stream. You guys could tell me, but it was, I don't know, what was it, May or June maybe? And already the shows are starting to kick in, and it was genuinely, the reason I stopped was I felt bad. I kept saying, hey, I'll be back on Friday, and then I wouldn't show up, or I'd put something up, and my dad broke his hip in April, and he was in the hospital for 10 weeks. It was awful, and I'm still doing, but I had to really baby him hand and foot for 2 months. So that was the main thing, the combination of the gigs and my dad requiring 24-hour around the clock constant care. I just didn't have the time to devote to this, and I don't want to let everybody down and constantly say I'll be back and then not show up. So I'm like, you know what, just gonna put the brakes on for a couple of months, and when the smoke clears, which is now, thank God, everybody's doing well, shows have calmed down a little bit for a while, I said I'll get back on. So here I am. You're the Dollar General. Yeah, man, I know. No, hopefully he'll write back. Kelly will be up in the mountains, so winter will be in the 60s during the day, and the only snow they get is the mountaintops. Summers will be wicked hot. Change is good. I agree, man. Change is good. Are you I know you got the surfboards. Are you a skier by any chance? Maybe you can get into skiing when you go up to the mountains. Yeah, here you go, Kevin. His niche is low volume but high value real photos. Average sales price $30 to $35 a card. I mean, come on. That I really respect that. Somebody that's just devoted himself to. I'm sure you won't, turn your nose to other cards, but I know you pretty much, that you seek these higher value cards, these real photo postcards, and the proof's in the pudding. Look at that, $30 to $35 a card, folks. That's outrageously good. Congratulations. And I know Kevin retired fairly recently, a few years ago. Went down to Florida from Jersey. All back stock gone. Yeah. Hi, Diane. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Great to have you. Great to see so many people coming back. Thank you so much. Before I get too far, would you please take a moment? I got to get my YouTube spiel in. Please leave a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. We got to let YouTube know I'm back, and maybe share out the show to other people that might be into the kind of stuff we like to chat about, right? And that's accomplished by leaving a thumbs up, by commenting, interacting. Just like eBay likes, activity, things like that, so does YouTube. YouTube likes feedback. YouTube's like thumbs up. YouTube's likes comments. So please, if you're enjoying the show, just take a second, leave that thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. And Postcard Guy has a quote-unquote small store for a lot of card sellers, 5,000, but it's quality over quantity, right, man? That's fantastic. I was your screensaver. That's kind of funny. You're not the first to say that, Mark. Eve Sam, oh, great to see you too. Thank you very much for coming in. I think Eve sent me an email right a while ago. And thank you all for, you know who you are. You know who you are. Many people sent emails to me over this time, this hiatus, and I really appreciate that. Checking in, making sure everything was okay. So thank you very much, guys, for sending those emails. Anybody who ever wants to email, it's jiminyflipit@gmail.com. I get all kinds of goodies. I get really interesting emails. Some is just like, hey man, what's going on? And some are questions, some are examples of stuff that people have found out there. So always welcome. jiminyflip@gmail.com. And Swamp Picker just got a ching. There you go. Congratulations. What'd you sell? Share the good news. Kelly does not do winter sports. You're looking forward to year-round shorts and t-shirts. There you go. Yeah, well deserved. Did you grow up in Maine, Kelly? Like, have you spent your whole life up there? Yep, great to see him. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. All right, Mark made a call to you too for me. I appreciate that. They're turning things up for me. Thank you very much. Thank you. They've refreshed my store, as eBay used to tell you. Remember that line of malarkey? You'd have a bad sales week or something, and somebody would say, call eBay and ask them to refresh your store. Oh, yeah. Hold on, I'm going to put you on hold. They hit the magic button and your store is refreshed. Oh, boy. The things we fall for. Most of it was in Maine. Very good. Well, congratulations. When is this big move happening? Is it like this calendar year you're looking to do it? That's a hike. Just physically getting all your stuff and getting out there. Getting a truck to drive across the country. It's great to hear from everybody. Maybe we'll list, maybe we'll just chat. Kind of nice to chat with people. Most of it was in Maine, says Kelly. Yeah, guys, anything else? How have you guys been doing? Tell me what's been going on. How have your sales been? It looks like nobody's been listing for months, but it doesn't seem to impact anybody's bottom line. That's a good thing. Yeah, I admit it fully. My listing on the paper store has been just woeful. You know what I've gotten into the trap of doing? When you get a certain quantity, not that I have a lot, especially compared with these people that have 50,000 plus, but 7, 8,000, 5,000, 10,000 items, it's very, very easy for me to, on the 3-month mark exactly, just sort by date listed. And when the 3-month mark hits on a quantity of listings, just end and sell similar. So instead of listing, you find yourself just constantly rechurning these things that have sat there for. The bad news is, of course, every 3 months, if I keep seeing the same stupid ad or postcard or whatever I have up there that hasn't sold, woe is me. But again, I know that that's part of the game. They don't move very quickly, typically, as a product as a whole. There's always individual ones. Like I've actually done shorts and stuff on YouTube where I've listed something on one of our shows and it's sold an hour later. You know, obviously that's the exception. I literally have ads up that I've probably had up for like 5-6 years that haven't sold yet. I know John has talked about that. He probably has postcards that haven't sold that have been listed for 5 or 6 years. Maybe Mark does too, and haven't sold. And then all of a sudden, for no reason at all, they'll just sell. You know, it's kind of very hit or miss in this arena. And again, I know that. But with that said, that's been my lazy man excuse, because I don't want to, like, the term neglect is hard, but I felt like I was neglecting my store to an extent because I was putting so much focus on primarily the clothing thing, and then also just trying to build up this brand new media thing, which is kind of like peanuts, but it just helps me segregate, kind of like Mark, where he wanted to focus on mainly one product. That's what I decided I wanted to do I wanted clothes to be their own entity and not mixed in with postcards and, you know, cause confusion with people, and some of the numbers would be skewed, I think, too, reporting and stuff. So I have a clothing store, solely clothing, where I used to have some pieces of clothing, believe it or not, in the Jiminy Flippit store some time ago, but very, very few, handfuls. But like if Mrs. Flippit had something in her closet that she didn't fit in anymore or whatever, we'd put it up, and, you know, sure enough, it would sell, which was always frustrating to me because I put so much effort into the postcards and the paper and the, you know, the print ads and things like that. And then Mrs. Flippit, you know, literally throws a blouse down from Land's End or something stupid. That thing sells in like 3 days. And that was one of the things that went ding. Maybe I should learn a little bit. So it was just something fun to do, and learn about. I always like to learn something new. I think hopefully most of us do. But I'm also quite satisfied to sit on my laurels and enjoy the stuff that I, don't have to think about as much, like the paper stuff. I still love it though. I'm still just always intrigued by it. Definitely postcards too. I like the history behind them. I like the places and the depictions and of the areas and stuff like that. I just love the stuff personally. So it's something I would never give up. Had any singing shows? Yeah, man, I was out all since like April or May. We were playing constantly. See, we have a website and it says like there's a tab that says tour. And I would do, because of the nature of our business, it's very, very cutthroat. And there's other bands, rival bands, that try to steal shows, basically. They try to like steal venues from you. They'll call up and ask, they'll say, oh, I heard those guys are playing on June 10th. Well, how much are they asking for? Oh, we'll do it for half of that. And and they put people in a terrible position because, like, of course, they're businessmen and businesswomen and they want to put on a good show, but if they could save half a fee, that they're apt to do that. So anyway, there's a lot of cutthroat things out there. So because of that, we post about 10% of the actual shows we do, because we don't want every show and every venue right out there in the ether for anybody who wants to come in and sneak them. So anyway, yeah, I've been playing constantly, like 3-4 days a week, every single week for months and months now. So I'm a little fried. And then we went down to Florida a couple weeks ago when it was after like my last show for a while. And then last weekend we were in New Hampshire, actually. And now I only have 3 shows in October after having like 15 to 20 a month the last several months. In a way, I mean, I would always rather play, but it's good to be home for a while too. And that's another reason for the neglecting of my store and stuff, is because haven't been home much. 12 to 15 years. See, there you go. Yeah, I believe it too. I definitely believe it. Mark got a 1.62 eBay payout. $1.62. Yeah, there you go. Cha-ching. Congratulations, Mark. Good job. Kevin lists daily. It's a good thing to do. Sales are consistent. Gearing up for the Tampa Postcard Show. You run 3 times a year down here. Show is 10/25. There you go. If you're down in the neck of the woods of Kevin down in Florida, Sarasota area, I think, right? Get down there. Check out that Postcard Show. Sales have been about as bad as last year. You did make some bulk buys this summer, so I do a plan to readjust my store a bit next year. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Mrs. Flippett chiming in, so let me just send her a quick message while we chat. I think she's probably switching trains. I'm doing my YouTube show. Letting her know I'm doing the show. Mrs. Flippett didn't even know. Just about as bad. That says a lot, right? Well, that's cool. Keith started. Welcome, boy, Keith. You did start a new eBay store. Cool. Starting dabbling in sports cards. We haven't listed in months on the sports cards store, and the results probably reflect that lack of activity, right? So you got to be a Popeye or a Mark. You got to have 50,000, 100,000, whatever, multiple thousands of items up there and decades of reputation if you want to be lazy and not do anything. For the rest of us, poor saps, you kind of just have to do the grind and get the volume up and get the business. So, yeah, I on paper, I good old-fashioned way, I literally take a pen and paper, my planner, and a pen. And I write things out. Like, I promised myself that come October when the shows, the volume of shows, Beatles shows, start dwindling a little bit, I would focus a lot more on eBay and specifically getting back into my paper store. Because the clothing store I've kept up because it's been a really good source of income for us. So I can't let that go. I've been doing that. It's easy. It's really simple compared to this stuff, to be honest with you. But this stuff is the stuff I like much, much more. I personally enjoy, the payouts I'm sure we all do that are in this chat today. So I take more time and I enjoy it. And I have my own processes, which I've outlined in numerous videos and stuff. Feel free to improve upon them if you choose to do so, or use them as a template for yourself. But I'm kind of set in my ways, if you will, with the paper stuff. I know how to list the postcards and the print ads and stuff like that. And Mrs. Flippett works in a convent. She works in a convent, but it's like a retirement home for the nuns that have retired. And it's, truth be told, it's a quasi, well, there's different components within the house. Anyway, she works in there, and they have something, I might have mentioned this. If I did, let me know, but they have something called the free table. And it's literally just a big table outside the cafeteria area, I think. And people, be it the nuns in the place or people, workers or whatever, will put stuff on that table, and it's up for grabs. It could be literally anything. It could be pieces of clothing. I just sold a pair of boots that Mrs. Flipper got on the free table for $62 yesterday that I had listed for like 3 days, completely free. And there's a lot of junk too, but everyone, like, she brings me CDs. I get stacks and stacks and stacks of free CDs from the free table, and I go through them, and some of them are like really, lousy. But other ones, like this is a sealed disc. I don't even know who it is, but it's like soundscapes, things like that. Stuff that you can't get on streaming. It's a little hint if anybody's interested in selling records or discs. The ones that seem to sell the best and for the highest money are the ones that aren't available on streaming. Not everything is on streaming, and stuff that's on streaming might be here today, gone tomorrow. So there's still a huge market. I mean, I love records, so I'm always going to have my records. I'd rather sell my own clothing than sell my records that I've had for 50 years, But anyway, yeah, there's always going to be a market for that stuff. And so I get tons of free CDs from the free table. The boots were just outrageous to sell for $60. I got like a sweater one time, a Patagonia sweater that I sold for like $40 or something, scot-free. And then even better for us personally, we're always trying to clean up the basement and clean up junk that we have accumulated in our home, and she'll just bring it to the free table, and it's gone. It's gone within like the span of that day. We could have like a bin filled with junk that's been sitting in our closet for 20 years, and boom, she brings it in, it's gone. And it's a really good feeling, because that means that the people need it or want it, whereas it was just sitting in our basement, and vice versa. The people that are giving up these CDs or these boots or whatever they have, we're using, and I'm turning around and selling them. So it's a beautiful thing. Karen says the grind is real. You may get buried with these things. Yeah. What are you burying yourself in? A plethora of items, Karen, or is it like one main thing? You went back to working on your postcard store. Still lots to learn about the postcard. Yeah, I'm sure. It's a very competitive field, and I know it's a very popular field, so that's good. Yes, it's sort of similar. Not to keep harping on the clothing, but for me, it's like basically from starting from scratch. When I started a little over a year ago, I really wanted to learn, get brand knowledge up, know what's junk versus what's good, all that kind of stuff. So it was exciting to learn I like learning new things. I think we said that earlier, but I do. I like learning new things. It was challenging. Like when you have the mechanics of the eBay website and how to navigate it and how to do things right, which I do, and I'm sure a lot of us do, it's kind of fun to introduce new products and just put them through that same set of standards and skills that you've picked up through the years of doing eBay, and just implementing them with a new product. It's pretty cool. Mark says the drone business my son and I started has been taking me out of my house 3 to 4 days a week. Oh, you actually started a business, huh? Drone mapping, very cool. Kind of like a Google Earth thing, I guess. Okay, Mrs. Flipper gave me, oh, okay, with a thumbs up when I let her know I was doing a show, because she just called me. What a cool thing to get into, man, drone business. Mark is on the cusp of technology, folks. Complete with link, rivervalleydrones.com. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Karen, postcards, still selling vintage items and some clothing. Cool. Oh, I didn't know you do clothing, but primarily postcards. Very cool. Yeah. Are you listing with frequency, Karen? Hope you are. It seems like it's funny. You take a couple of months off, and everybody's coming out of the woodwork now saying, I haven't listed anything in 3 months. It's pretty funny. I thought I was the only one. It must be in the air. I can't say I didn't list anything. I did list some stuff, but nowhere near, the intensity. Like I think I told everybody a couple of years ago, I was putting up 100 print ads a day, every single day. I really was, Doable. Takes some time, but very doable. And yeah, I got some results and stuff, but I guess it was, like I said, it was kind of disappointing that the turnaround on paper it just takes forever. So you could list 100 a day and still sell 1 or 2. It's frustrating. 1-2% is about the right number too. and sell through with that stuff. You have a drone coming Monday, cost you $6,000. You'll make a ton of money. Well, good luck with that. I know nothing of drones. I've never owned a drone. I know they look like little whirly bird things like we used to play. Remember whirly birds, folks? The toys with have like a helicopter on the end of a stick, and you press a thing and it would go in circles, called whirly birds. They kind of look like that to me. There you go, Enzo. So you needed me. It's my fault. I took down the entire industry. Me not being here, yapping it up with you fine folks, has caused the collapse of eBay as we know it. I believe it, though. I do believe it. What's up, Harry? Yes, because you're old. You remember those well. What, the whirly birds? Yeah. That's the first thing. When I saw drones, they kind of reminded me of those. I'll never forget. Yeah, the whirly bird, which is like a helicopter. I had a Star Trek Enterprise. Same kind of thing, but it was the USS Enterprise. Going around. It had like a fan in the round part, and it made a noise and stuff. You have 8 different drones. Incredible, man. What makes a drone a good drone versus a bad drone? I guess they have cameras, different quality levels, right? Like 4K camera, 1080K, 1080p, excuse me. What makes a good drone? Every time I see videos of drones, they're smashing into walls or being stepped on or falling out of the sky and landing in somebody's barbecue pit. So if I spent $6,000 on a drone and any of those things happen, I'd be mighty pissed. Harry says yes. Well, welcome aboard, Harry. Great to have you, man. Pull up a chair. Enzo says hi to Blue Feather. Yeah, I don't have a drone. You guys into drones at all? Don't know. Mrs. Flippin from the Long Island. Oh, you're in Long Island already, honey. Wow, you're making good time. 8:24. I dropped off Mrs. Flippin at 4:15. Well, we got there about 4 o'clock. 4:15 train from our area, and she's still on the railroad. The final leg in Long Island. Welcome, honey. Yeah, I got back on the YouTube tonight. Everybody's back. They were all waiting. Nobody's been selling anything because I haven't been on. See, now I feel guilty. People will fly those over their kids' games like soccer and send videos of colleges to get into certain schools. Wow. Oh, I know it's an industry at this point. Down in Disney, they do like light shows now with drones. It looks like fireworks almost, but they all kind of gather in a way that it makes a shape of a character or something like that. It's amazing. The technology is incredible. They look like cheap little pieces of plastic from what I've seen, but it's incredible what they could do. No antiques, anything old, no drones unless they're worth money and they're easy to ship. There you go. I like Harry's philosophy. Anybody else got anything you want to talk about? Oh, we're not getting a drone. Yeah, I haven't gotten the drone bug. Mark has got a business going with drones, so obviously he knows what he's doing, honey. So we're gonna have to follow Mark and say, you should have a drone YouTube channel, Mark. That's what you should do. Take videos of like exclusive locations in Chicago, fly it over Wrigley, and do videos. Put those on YouTube. Probably get millions of views. Yeah, the only reason she's sharing me is because she's not here, you see. I have carte blanche down here. No, to Mrs. Flippett's credit, she's always telling me to continue with the YouTube stuff, so she's right. It's just I was telling everybody, honey, about, all the stuff that's going on with Dad and Beatles shows and whatnot. So we are back in business. It's October 3rd, and we should have multiple months, get us through the fall, winter, spring probably. God willing, come on every Friday. Besides Halloween, what's very desirable postcards? I believe this is like a postcard community. There are a lot of postcard superstars in the chat as we speak, without question. I certainly do not consider myself to be one of them, but I absolutely sell postcards. John's been a huge mentor of mine, got me into it, watching his channel, Popeye's Postcards. Mark SM Postcards, Connie is here, CK. She was earlier anyway, I hope she's still on, but and Kevin. Definitely check out their YouTube channels, Harry, if you want to learn about and the ultimate answer, Niagara Falls. See, that's if you want to make your fortune, that's the secret, Niagara Falls. Yep. No, but seriously, if you're new to it or if you want to learn more, John's channel right there, Popeye's Postcards, SM Postcards, Trying to go back up to this chat. Postcard Guy is Kevin. I was going to try to get him up. What the heck is this comment? If you guys want to post links to your store, to your channel, feel free. I know Mark is got a wrench. Kelly's got a wrench. Kelly sells postcards. Popeye, of course, sells postcards. The reason I'm not speaking is I'm scrolling through the chat. I'm trying to pull up Kevin's Postcard Guy. Here we go. Visit the Postcard Guy on YouTube. All those people have volumes of knowledge about the postcard reselling industry, ideas, suggestions, all that kind of stuff. You'll be in with junk journals. There you go. Maybe you should start a channel about junk journals. Junk journals, really interesting. They used to sell something called junk drawer lots. That was always popular on YouTube. Junk drawer lots, which is just as it sounds, just crap that's in your junk drawer. Little trinkets, little buttons. I just happen to have all kinds of stuff like that. Buttons and baubles and coins and pieces of paper and thimbles and, you know, all kinds of stuff that you might find in a junk drawer. There you go. There's Mark's channel if you want to check that out, Harry. You used to watch somebody from Seattle. You don't see him on anymore. I forgot what his name was. That's because you don't see him anymore. Well, that's a great point. And not sure that would be in Seattle. But again, if you just want to learn or increase your knowledge in general or get into a great community of people, any one of those channels will do you well. Kelly's not famous enough. Kelly's famous. Kelly's under the radar on YouTube because he refuses to show his face. But if you know, you know. Oh, Jackass Retro. Okay. Was he in Seattle? I didn't know he was in Seattle. I guess I did. I know he was in Washington, right? Is he still? Yeah, you know, it's funny. Is he still doing shows? He used to do every single morning. And yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time either. Maybe he's another one that kind of pulled the plug on the daily. He used to do like shipping shows every morning and stuff. Yeah, he did a little bit of everything, but I didn't realize he was in Seattle. I don't know why. But yeah, maybe that was it. So anyway, it's up to you, Harry. But yeah, you got some real experts in the field of postcards for sure. That dragged me in. Matt was entertaining. That's the way to look at it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the fame gets tiring. Exactly. You know, you can't go to a movie anymore. You can't go to a restaurant. They constantly, you know, ask for autographs. It gets frustrating. I agree. I agree. Yeah, this isn't the first time Popeye has vanished and come back. It's pretty cool. It's always exciting when you see people that you enjoy watching reappear, you know, on YouTube. But it, you know, we used the term grind before, not to like over dramatize this all, but it, you know, it does get, believe it or not, like you want to commit to a certain schedule and be consistent, just like you'd be consistent with sales or consistent in anything you do. They say that's one of the secrets of success. But it does get a little, I don't even know what the word is necessarily, but you try to stick to a schedule like I did with the shows and stuff. And I did it for a few years, pretty much. But there's always something gets in the way, real life things get in the way, and you can't always commit to that schedule. And then I just personally, like I said earlier, just to reiterate, I felt like I was letting people down. Not that I have this giant community or anything, but I don't care. I don't care if it's 3 people. If there's 3 people that are, and then I'd get emails, I'm really looking forward to seeing you, or, you know, they base their evening on a show or something. I really felt bad about that, and I didn't want to consistently say, yeah, I'll be back, and then not show up. I thought that was lousy. If I was pumped up to see, you know, I follow tons of YouTubers also, obviously, especially with musical stuff. And it really is true. You get accustomed to a certain frequency of content coming out. And if it doesn't keep coming out, you know what you do? You go elsewhere and you start looking at other things. So I definitely understand that completely from both sides. And Postcard Guy is the Postcard Guy on YouTube. And it won't be the last. What of the appearance and disappearance? Yeah. That's all right, man. It keeps life fun. You never want to be too predictable. It's been fun. You're out to see the hubby on FaceTime. You're 1,500 miles apart for now. We have hope. Oh, my goodness. YouTube groups is why I always like you. You learn a lot about collectibles and whatnots. I could care less about the popularity of my channel. You just have fun, enjoy it. Yeah, exactly. Have fun, enjoy it is true. And I think if you have fun doing it, it's going to sort of project out to people that are watching. At least that's the hope. It's extremely genuine. There's no pretense here, that's for sure. There's a lot of other things I could be doing, but I enjoy doing it. I enjoy coming on, chatting, hanging out. This is awesome. Especially because I'm alone tonight. I don't like being alone. Mrs. Slip it out on the rails, as she said. It's a weird feeling. Dad going to bed shortly, 9 o'clock. So I have the rest of the night to kind of just, me and my dog, you know. It's not a feeling I really enjoy. I spent a lot of time away this summer from my wife because we were on shows and staying over and stuff. So I already miss her badly, and it's only been 4 hours. Shows. You might do some in the winter months. I apologize. What? The videos, you mean? Shows or videos, Mark? What I mean by videos is I thought what we were talking about with the maybe like landscape videos and stuff with the drones. I think that would be outrageously cool. Harry, when he does his lives, he doesn't announce. You just pop on, drink a few beers, and do top 10s on anything and everything. Have a good time. Yeah. Cheers. Videos. Okay. Just good old videos. Yeah, Mark was a incredibly consistent videographer, right? A video doer, YouTuber. No drone video, says Mark. Okay. Yeah, Harry, I'll have to check out it's just a hangout channel basically. Do you focus on anything specifically? Is it around reselling? Is it life in general? Is it just hanging out? And now you have to remember where you put the camera, yeah. Yeah, well, it's been an hour already. That really did fly by this first hour, I'll tell you. I haven't listed anything. Staying with the... I've been consistently inconsistent. That's true. No listing. That's okay. I'm going to have to do some listing over the weekend just to kind of revive this store. Or what I was saying before is my cheating method was I go in and I'll just end and sell similar on items that reach that 3-month level, which in essence is like doing 200 listings, right? I do 200 a time, whatever, I do 200 and I save it. And you can even like plot it out to do for like a week straight. I did that when we were on vacation because we were going to be gone for a week. So I just set up my listings to run 200 every day. I ended, you know, whatever, 200 times 7, 1,400 listings, and just had them relist on the clip of 200 a day. And I put like 8 in the morning and set them out 5 minutes apart, something like that. So eBay sees the consistency that they want to see in the activity when I'm gone. Blue Feather says, no drone videos. That's a shame. You always wanted to see the White House. I'm sure Mark could get you into some places. Let me just tell you. If he wanted to do a drone video. You do somewhat sold on eBay videos. Okay, cool. Also, just let people what you actually do sell when you pick up. Yep, good stuff. Good line there. What actually sells. Yes, not just, oh, I picked up a stash of 50 million items. Yeah, we went down to Disney. That's what we do, man. Got my new Walt Disney World sweatshirt, which I'm sporting tonight. It was so insanely hot. Food and Wine Festival in Epcot was the draw of this trip. Just started in, I think, end of August, early September. And we were down for a week in the middle of September and had a great time at the Food and Wine Festival. Ate like a pig, drank like a fish, and did a lot of walking. We got, you know, the step counter thing. They're on a lot of phones nowadays, or if you have those Fit watches or whatever they're called. We were doing like 15 to 20,000 steps every day, which is apparently about 10 miles walking, which at this age and this stage of my life. Now, I will tell you, the performing stuff, I might not do as many steps, but I know I burn a lot of calories, especially on outdoor shows where you sweat away 10 pounds in those shows, and it's very aerobic. Singing and performing is an incredibly aerobic action. So I got a lot of activity, but as far as steps go, with the exception of in my home literally going up 3 floors all the time because of my dad, I don't really, you know, log miles anymore. I used to, when I was in high school, I used to run, I played baseball and basketball, so I used to run miles and miles a day, but that was 40 years ago. So, yeah, it was kind of harrowing to and it's so amazing because like they show you a graph, right? So like the week before we went to Disney, I was getting like 2,000 steps, 3,000 steps, and all of a sudden it's a bar graph. Boom! I went right, like the first day we were there, we were at 15,000, and we were only there for like 6 hours, and like every day, 18,000, 20,000, 18,000, 17,000 for that whole week. And then sure enough, we got home, boom, right back down to 2 or 3. But it was a nice little spike. And the way we looked at it, it justifies, stuffing your face with all this crap on the food and wine thing. Even it's not crap, it's actually delicious food, really good food. But lots of it, and stuff I typically wouldn't eat at home. And just drinking, beers from all over the world and all that stuff. It was a great time, but man, the heat was it just got to me this time. And I lived in Florida for a period of time, but man, there was just something about that week. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, so it was completely blue, which is usually a good thing. And it was like 90, which is hot enough, right? But that Florida sun, that tropical sun, just with no shade, and just like, it was like a laser beam into your soul. I swear to God, we were dying. And then you throw in a 10-mile jaunt in that kind of weather. You're very welcome, man. Great to see you. Nice to hear from you, John Kelly. Yeah, you too, man. Good luck with that business. I think that's fantastic. Hope to see you soon. Should be back every Friday. Lee says a lot of what she knows about postcards to do to SFO. Well, congratulations, and I'm sure he appreciates that. The crowds have been light. That's what we heard too. It was friggin' packed. Food and Wine, I love that too. Yeah, who was playing when we went? Sheila E. You rented out your DVC points for the next 2 years. Oh, did you really? Ah, cool. Who did we see? Sheila E. and somebody I never heard of was E to the Beat concert series. Sheila E. has one song, really, right? Glamorous Life. She did like Prince songs and she did stuff like that. It was packed though. I know the news is telling you that it's not crowded. Bull. It was mobbed. Like, I mean, you couldn't even walk. In Magic Kingdom or Epcot, because what happens is you have a double whammy. You have Magic Kingdom has the Halloween party. They started in August, which is ridiculous. But with that said, the 2 or 3 nights a week where they have Halloween parties, the park closes at 6 o'clock. So where does everybody go at 6 o'clock? They go to Epcot. So you have this influx of people that would normally be in Magic Kingdom all coming into Epcot for those last few hours for food and wine. Plus you have all the locals, and this is from somebody who used to be a local. A lot of people on the weekends, especially, they just go to Epcot to hang out. It's like we would go to dinner. They go to Epcot because it's a local place with an incredible amount of variety. So like Friday and Saturday nights in Epcot are just, forget about it if there's a Halloween party in a Magic Kingdom. Absolutely, you can't see in front of you. It's just wall-to-wall people. How's the back? The back exists in a state of fragility. It got me through the summer, though. I was worried about that, but thank you for asking. It's been, it kind of is what it is. It's not going to ever really get better necessarily. The injury is gone. The surgery has healed. Thank you. But I'm just going to have a lousy back, unfortunately, the rest of my life. But I appreciate you asking. Thanks, man. Your best band you saw was Night Ranger? Oh, yeah, Night Ranger, sure. A buddy of mine, the guy in my Beatle band, loves Night Ranger, actually. Who did we see that I really liked? That I was impressed by? It used to be like Davy Jones from the Monkees used to play there all the time. I remember seeing him. My wife loves Air Supply. We saw Air Supply last year. They sang really well. But let's be honest, Air Supply. Yeah, they have some decent bands. They really do. Truth be told, it's either has-beens, pretty much, or like they had Mickey, what's his name, from Starship, from Jefferson Starship, We Built the City. The guy who came in and sang with Grace Slick after Marty Balin left, Mickey something. He was there. He might have even been there the first night we were there this like a couple weeks ago. But like he'll come on. It's just Mickey from Jefferson Starship. So it's a bunch of session people standing on stage with him singing a couple songs you might know. That's kind of the gist. You get like one of the Backstreet Boys or something, one guy who nobody even knows stands there and sings their songs. It's kind of lame. There's a lot of like 60s, you'll get like Herman's Hermits, what's his name? Peter Noon will come out and do a show. You got to go. What a, no problem, Karen. Have a good night. Great show. Thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you too, Karen. I should be back on Friday. Maybe next Friday we'll list something. Rick Springfield was good. Yeah, I'm sure he was 2 years ago. Yeah. Well, there's even people I didn't think I would really care much about, but since they're there and it's free, I'd sit down a few minutes, and I was moderately impressed by some of them. I'm trying to think of an example. I think Peter Noon was actually one of them. I didn't see. Oh, who was really good? Roger Hodgson from Supertramp. a few years ago. Logical Song, Breakfast in America. Oh my God, he was awesome. It was just him with a band of nobodies, but man, he was good. And you know, I loved all those songs growing up. Logical Song and Dreamer is a really good song by that band. That was shockingly good. Davy Jones was a lot of fun growing up. You know, the Monkees and all that stuff. But yeah, it's kind of hit and miss. Sheila E. No offense to anybody who might be a Sheila E. aficionado, but you know, she just stands there with two snare drums going over and over and over. You know, synthesizers blasting with lights flying around and We try to go twice a month. We were there the night. Joey Fat One. That's the way I call him. Joey Fat One. That's the guy from. Is he In Sync or whatever the other one is? Yeah, the guy from Starship, Mickey somebody. Right. That's who we saw too. We Built This City. And Sarah. That's the two songs you need by him. Although he sings I Fool Around and Fell in Love. Mickey somebody. Look it up, folks. Look it up. All right, everybody. I'm probably going to wrap it up now. I appreciate you guys coming on, just kind of getting reacquainted. It's been a pleasure. Great to see everybody. John, Mark, Connie, Karen, everybody, all of you. It's been wonderful. I'll be back on next Friday. We'll list some stuff on eBay next week. Let's do that. Let's aspire to do that. I don't see anything. Again, God willing. Hopefully no issues. But we'll be back next Friday. I'll announce it during the week. I'll put up the time and all that stuff. We'll shoot for like 7:30. Hopefully that works for everybody. I think 7:30 is a good time because it's late enough for West Coast people that they should either be home from work or close to, if it's still working. For us on the East Coast, it's not too late. It kind of hopefully doesn't interfere with anybody's bedtime activities. So I will see you guys. Yeah, man, get back to listing. Thanks a lot. I will see you on the next one. Great to catch up. You too, man. Good night, guys. I'll see you next Friday. Great to see everybody. Bye-bye.